So yeah, my name is Sean, and I go as Sublime on YouTube. I've been interested in Pokemon, I'd say, all my life. I started off like any kid. I think, like most people, I'd say most young boys is like obsessed with dinosaurs at the age of like 4 and 5. Anything that is big and sharp and teeth and can murder and maim, I suppose I was interested in. So Pokemon seemed an interesting jump from dinosaurs. So I got into Pokemon at around 7. I actually brought it here as a little prop, but I don't know if you've ever seen a Pokemon, a Game Boy Pocket, an original. This is a black and white
Wow, I don't
Game Boy
think I've
Pocket.
seen one of those. Original?
Yeah, it has a contrast wheel here on the side, so it's just a completely black and white console. But it's the second version of the Game Boy. But I
Wow.
got that for Christmas '98, I think it was, and Pokemon Red, and it started from there really. And then eventually I got Pokemon Silver then after that, which is an incredible game. I know you haven't, or you've said on the podcast before that you've not played the Gen 1 and Gen 2 games thoroughly, but that the original Silver and Gold are they're special games for me, I suppose, because like I suppose like little things like unless you had the guides back then, it was really like you didn't know that there was Kanto was in the game. You didn't know about all the things you could do by going to Mount Silver at the end and battling
hmm
Red, those kind of things. So those kind of memories stick with me. Like the little, I don't. Do you remember like the gossip on the playground? Do you know
I love
how do you
that.
get? Yeah, like when someone tells you about like if you give a sunstone to Gloom, you get a blossom. Do you know, or like Politoed, who we'll talk about as well, is very awkward Pokemon that you never really think about. But so yeah, I went from there and then bought Emerald with this is what I normally play on, which is like a little micro.
Oh,
I
the
don't know,
mic. Wow, I haven't seen one of those since like high school.
yeah, so this is my little green micro that I have for my Emerald. But so I got that and I played it back in the day. Got into Emerald a little bit, but not too much. And then that was the end of my Pokemon journey, really, for a number of years until about 2 years ago. I started like picking up some Game Boys again, and then I modded a Game Boy for my friend. And then I just started to get back into Emerald. So cleared my save file, my original save file, and then basically have been following your videos and learning as I go how to EV train, IV, go from there. And then basically that's what's led me now to this, being on this podcast with you.
I'm interested. What made you like go back and pick up your Game Boy or have that urge to maybe restart? Was it something you remember, or was it kind of just like, hey, look at this game and let me see what's on it? Or
So I suppose as any, my best friend when I was a child was like, he was getting Pokemon Red from Santa for Christmas, and I was asking Santa for Pokemon Blue. But my parents obviously they didn't know the difference, or Pokemon Blue was sold out, so we ended up getting Pokemon Red. But I remember that feeling of like wanting to get uh, all the Pokemon and collect them together. So um, yeah, that's uh, that's probably the earliest memory I have of like kind of connecting together, wanting to get uh, Pokemon.
Mhm.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought. What I originally said was, so I got to relive my past. A man was selling an old Game Boy Color, kind of like a neon kind of black green one, for like €50 with Pokemon Blue. Just under 2 years ago. So I went back and I'd never played through Blue, so I played back through Blue. And when I played back through Blue, I kind of had a thought about it, and I was like, oh, I must give Emerald a go again. So that's what kind of caused me to pick it back up, is the idea of reliving a bit of childhood. And then once I started finding your videos, which was that like I didn't expect it to be this deep, like the layer of strategy, intense training, and time commitment to get what you need to get. But it's incredible, great journey so far. So really enjoying it.
Yeah, it gets deep. Is the Gen 2 games some of your favorites?
Yeah, weirdly enough, I've never played Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I do have them as games, but I've
Mhm.
never played them. But I have played through Silver, and I've played a small bit of Gold. Yeah, um, I don't know. Would it be? I think I have a very soft feeling for Gold and Silver, but like I do love the original Red and Blue. Like there's just something about them, that introduction to that whole world. and it's so like janky. I suppose that's why I kind of like it. I suppose.
So I guess let's ask one fun question before we dive into the team. I guess what are some what are some of your favorite Pokemon, but also favorite shinies? I mean, maybe like top three if you could pick some.
Top three Pokemon. Number one would have to be Magmar for me.
Magmar.
I don't know. Yeah, he's by far, and that's why he will be on my Kanto only team. I think.
Nice.
It's either him or Electabuzz. Because Electabuzz is my best friend's favorite Pokemon, and Magmar is my favorite Pokemon. But yeah, I don't know if you remember the anime too much, but like when Ash fights Blaine and it's just Magmar and Charizard, that fight is, and like we all know how overpowered Charizard is, and Magmar nearly gets the better of him. Nearly.
It's funny you mentioned that scene because that's my head immediately went to that scene. And like as a kid remembering that's why Magmar used to be as a kid one of my favorite Pokemon because of that scene and how cool Magmar was or is.
Yeah, yeah. And weirdly enough, I was just watching is it the Hero Quest? I think it's like the end of Gen 2, start of Gen 3 in the anime, and when he fights Gary, and I never realized Gary actually has a Magmar as well. But Gary's team is stacked. He's got like Blastoise, Nidoqueen, Scizor, Magmar, and somebody else. He's got two other guys as well. Like just an absolute stacked team. Doesn't even use his Umbreon. Has an Umbreon and doesn't even use it. Sorry.
I got to go back and watch that. I don't think I remember that, but that sounds awesome.
It's pretty good. It's 6-on-6. It's very good.
So we got Magmar. Who else?
Yeah, so Magmar would probably be number one, and number two would probably be. I love Golem. I love ground, and we'll get into talking about ground Pokemon, but I really, really like ground Pokemon. So yeah, it would probably be second would be Golem, and third would probably be Nidoking. Very Gen 1 heavy, but they would probably be my favorites. I do really like Donphan a lot. But I would just from Gen 1. Golem, I think, is. I always have a Geodude. Every playthrough I just always pick up a Geodude because it learns Earthquake naturally at like level 36 if you keep it as a Geodude all the way up. So that's what I do, just keep it as a Geodude, get Earthquake, and then just start smashing everything with Earthquake. That's usually the plan.
And for shinies, what are some of your favorites?
I can't remember the man who was on with you, but he had a Magneton with, is it Magnet Pull? And he was hunting Aaron. I think that he get Aggron. He was looking for shiny Aggron.
Yep.
So I listened to that podcast and I was like, I'm going to try to do that because I like Skarmory. So I only did that, I'd say about 3 weeks ago. And I spent, no joke, I think it was an hour and 10 minutes into hunting Skarmory, and then a shiny Skarmory
No way.
pops up. Yeah, I honestly couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. So I'd say shiny Skarmory is probably up there as probably my favorite, if not one of my favorite, and probably shiny Pinsir. I really, really like shiny Pinsir.
It's basically purple, right?
Kind of like, yeah, purpley blue, I suppose. He's Pinsir's just a really cool Pokemon, just really menacing or something.
Oh, that is that is a really cool Gen 3 like shiny. I think like in the Gen 4 too. Actually, yeah, that color is really cool. What the heck?
Even his horn, like the Pinsirs have like a patina on them. They look like they're made of titanium or something like that.
That's a cool Pokemon.
Yeah, and I like shiny Politoed is also pretty cute as a Pokemon goes. So probably they'd probably be my three, or Nidoking as well. Blue Nidoking is pretty cool.
That's so cool. So you got Skarmory on the team, but you don't have that shiny one though.
No, because I just caught that and I haven't trained it yet. But I do want to do an all shiny team from my like Fire Red playthrough that I started a few months ago, and my Emerald playthrough I've caught 4 shinies. So I have like female Nidorina, a Machop, a Skarmory, and I got a you won't believe this, right? But when I restarted my Emerald file, I was like, I'm just going to pick Mudkip, and I'm going to just try to train my Mudkip like EV training from the start a little bit in the first route or two, and this is my like little notebook, whatever here that I use for taking down EVs, whatever like that. But the first page is obviously going to be a little bit hard to see, but it has like hardly no writing on it. It's hard to see. But basically, I encountered 8 Wurmples, and on my 9th Wurmple at the very start of the game, I encountered a shiny Wurmple.
Wow. Were you able to get
Yeah,
it
so
that early? Did you have
yeah, I was
Pokeballs?
able to catch
Okay.
it. Yeah, I had
Dang.
Pokeballs. Yeah, so I was able to catch it. So yeah, so that's now a Beautyfly. So yeah, I have they're my shiny collection so far. So yeah.
Skarmory and Wurmple, very, very under odds, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. I had a weird feeling right when I was just starting to train Mudkip. I think it was like the first day I had turned Emerald on and started my new save file, and I was just like, I think this is a good omen that if I'm getting a shiny on day one,
Probably.
it's a pretty good omen. So, but obviously Wurmple isn't very, or Beautyfly isn't very competitive, I suppose. So that's why I have Machop, I have Nidorina, and I have Skarmory. So I could do something, but I'd probably look for. I'd like to try to get shiny Donphan because it's
That
kind
would
of
be
like
nice.
gold, I suppose. It's kind of like a goldy, like or an amber.
Hmm. All right. Well, let's dive into this team if you wanna. So
Yeah.
let's start. Just go over each individual Pokemon, and then we'll kind of chat about the team like holistically. And I guess is this for the battle tower? Or are we doing the dome?
Yeah. So I suppose to start, I only have the silver in the tower, and I have the silver in the pyramid with this team. I haven't taken on the dome yet because I don't know will this team work well in the dome because a lot of they have similar weaknesses. A lot of this like Donphan is weak to grass, and so is Politoed. So they both have a grass weakness, or like Skarmory is weak to electric, so is Politoed. So they work together as a trilogy rather than a two. So that's why I haven't really gone to the dome yet. Plus, I really wanted to grind my teeth against the tower. I suppose I really wanted to see how dangerous the teams can be in the tower. That's so kind of to get into it. I with the overall the team idea was that I really wanted to do a Kanto team, but I hadn't played through. So me and my good friend were playing through Fire Red, Leaf Green together. So I decided to go for a Johto team while I was getting my Kanto team together through my Fire Red, Leaf Green playthrough. So what started off with the idea was that I don't know if you remember the original Pokemon movie, the one with Mewtwo, where
I
he's
remember.
like evil. Yeah. But I remember watching that in the cinema when I was a child. I'd say I was like 8 or 9, and the opening credits of it. So like we only ever saw the original 151. The opening credits of the film has Ash's Bulbasaur fighting a Donphan, and it's the first time you see
Hmm.
a Gen 2 Pokemon. So Donphan is actually the first Pokemon outside the 151, apart from Ho-Oh, who you see in episode 1. But so that to me, when I saw Donphan, I was like, "What is that?" Where as a child, my brain was like, I was distracted about Donphan for like half the movie because I was like, "Who's this Pokemon?" But so I've always kind of had a soft spot for Donphan, and Fanfi is, I think, arguably one of the cutest Pokemon. It's a tiny blue elephant. It looks like Dumbo. So yeah, so I was like, I want to put a Johto team together. So I was like, I'll put Donphan in it because I love ground Pokemon. I was like, and then I needed a kind of a utility Pokemon. So I was like, a steel type would be needed, specifically something that can't get hit by Earthquake would be good. So I thought Skarmory, and then Donphan is weak to grass, water, and ice, which is pretty brutal. So Skarmory does cover a small bit of that. It doesn't take a lot of damage from ice and doesn't really take any damage from grass. So and then after that, then I was like, I need a water Pokemon. So what? Poliwag. I've always loved Poliwag and Poliwrath. So I decided then to put Politoed on the team because he's a Gen 2, and he's also kind of cute as well and kind of fun. So that the team kind of, because of Donphan's, I suppose, limited ability, I needed two Pokemon who could kind of swap in and kind of cover for him, and then he covers for them as well, because they're both weak to electric, and Donphan takes no damage from electric moves. So that's why I said it kind of works better as a 3 rather than a 2. So I don't know how they'd work in the dome together. But so that's kind of like a rough overview of my team. They kind of, the synergy, it's a lot of swapping in, kind of baiting moves, like baiting Surf on Donphan with Protect. If I was against the Lapras and it goes to Surf, Protect, and then if it goes to Surf me again, swap out into Politoed, and then Politoed takes no damage because of Water Absorb, which is a very, very good ability. I can kind of dig a bit deeper then into the EVs and IVs if you want to crack into that, but I just have to refer to my notebook here.
Love it.
But so my original, when I went through the tower first, I was kind of, I suppose, afraid. I was afraid of watching your podcast and watching some of your videos and stuff like that about like the brutality of the tower, like what could you be facing. So I was kind of afraid. So I was like, I'm going to put Skarmory out front and let it kind of take most of the brunt. But I found, because Skarmory, my build of Skarmory doesn't have any attacking moves, it only has Toxic, and it's kind of a stall. So I just found that like my first 2 rounds in the tower took me like 2 hours because I was just double teaming, protecting. So I decided to kind of swap it around. So I was like, maybe Donphan first as kind of like a glass cannon, I suppose, just to kind of hit something as hard as I can. And if I come up against a grass, water, or ice Pokemon, or any Pokemon that can have those moves, I swap to Politoed or to Skarmory to kind of to deal with the threat. So that's why I put Donphan lead, and obviously Donphan has crazy high attack and pretty high defense. So my Donphan there, Fanny, which is just a cute little name I have for it, obviously, because Fanfi. So I was like, oh, I'll just call it Fanny because it's a little cute little elephant. So it has 31 IVs in HP, 29 in attack, 31 in defense, 29 in special attack, 25 in special defense, and 17 in speed. So the only ones that really matter are the 31 in HP, 31 in defense, and 29 in attack. And Adamant obviously gives a boost to attack. So I just EV trained it in 252 attack, and I think I maybe made a mistake. I put 129 in HP and 129 in defense. So I definitely, I don't think, if I could go back now, I'd say maybe the defense EVs aren't needed with the HP EVs, and then I might put some into speed because Donphan does hurt a lot from lack of speed. So I used to have Quick Claw on Donphan, but I just found that it wasn't activating enough. And then I had Choice Band for a little bit. And I found, I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but like if I have like Choice Band Donphan, I'm like Earthquake, the first Pokemon. And then the second Pokemon, it'll just be like Pidgeot. And it's like, okay, now I have to swap. I have to swap.
Yeah, it's the risk, but it seems like a very high risk. Just if you hit Earthquake, or if you if you go Rock Slide, then you're going to go into something that like a Steelix or something like that, where it's like I should have used Earthquake. But yeah, I feel that.
So that, like, for me, I found that Choice Band was kind of like, yeah, it's powerful, very, very powerful, but I found that I was just limiting. I was being forced to swap. So I was kind of like, is there anything else I could do? So because Donphan gets Stab, Ground, Earthquake, that I was like, Soft Sand. So now I have the Stab, Ground, and then I also have Soft Sand, which I think gives it a 20% increase. So Earthquake hits pretty hard. And then I 2-shot mostly everything else then with Return or Rock Slide. Yeah, so Protect. I used to have, I can't remember what I had on it, but No, I've always had Protect. It was Rock Slide. I was debating putting Toxic on instead of Rock Slide to deal with like Wobbuffet for some weird reason. Donphan gets killed by Wobbuffet and I can't stop it. So I was thinking about doing that, but Donphan has come in clutch an awful lot of times against things like Gengar with Rock Slide. It usually one shots a lot of Ghost Pokemon. Rock Slide does. So yeah, Protect for me is a great one for like I said, like if a Lapras comes out first, I can like protect, bait the surf if it will surf me, and then I have a fair idea if it surfs me turn one and I've protected, and then if I swap into Politoed in two, it will surf usually Politoed, so I take no damage. And then the way my team kind of moves is that like I don't really have a way of taking down kind of bulky water Pokemon, so I kind of use Skarmory's Roar or I use Perish Song on Politoed to kind of move the order around, constantly move the opposition's order of Pokemon around. So, but so sorry, that's kind of Donphan. He's really like, or she's. It's just about hitting hard and just praying that whatever I'm coming up against doesn't have Ice Beam or Surf or any type of grass move that can hurt it. But it's pretty powerful. I know you haven't had a Donphan on the podcast, but it's Stab Earthquake with Soft Sand is pretty strong. Like it kills a lot of stuff. Like when I did the silver battle against Annabelle in the tower, I was like, I have never looked at like damage calculators or anything like that, but I was having like anxiety going into the Annabelle fight because she starts off with Alakazam, who has all the elemental punches, and Ice Punch being one of them. I was like, I presume Ice Punch is going to kill Donphan. And it didn't. It lived with 16 HP from an Ice Punch from Alakazam. My Earthquake killed Alakazam, then Entei came out and calm-minded. My Earthquake one-shotted Entei in, and then Snorlax came out and he cursed and I killed him with two Earthquakes.
Wow.
So Donphan just swept Annabelle's team.
There you go.
Yeah, so
Yeah, Donphan, I just checked. It's got 120 base attack with stab,
yeah,
earthquake, and sausage. That's like that's a lot of damage actually.
yeah, it does a lot.
Hmm.
I think it was a double edge on Donphan, but I just found that return is just better from the point of view of like I'm just not taking any damage from the move. Like so, I think return gives me good coverage for. Sometimes I'm just very wary of not using Rock Slide. If I can kill a Pokemon without or faint a Pokemon without using Rock Slide, I will probably use Return most of the time, unless the Rock Slide nearly guarantees me getting the KO. But yeah, I usually just Earthquake everything with 370 physical attack, as you see with Donphan. As long as it hits, it's gonna like I can one shot Chansey. I'll put it that way. I can one shot a Chansey.
So right now, again, kind of recapping Donphan, you used to lead with Skarmory, but now you're just leading Donphan.
Just lead Donphan,
Okay.
yeah. It's funny that I don't know the AI in Emerald, but like a lot of the time, turn one it'll either like they'll either do like a Dragon Dance, a Swords Dance, Toxic, or a Thunder Wave. But like I often find if they lead an electric Pokemon, they will always try to Thunder Wave Donphan, which is hilarious because it doesn't do anything to Donphan. So it's just free. It's a free shot. So yeah, Donphan to me is just like I'm happy if I can knock their first Pokemon out and Donphan still has a bit of health, and then if he gets knocked out in the second Pokemon, usually Skarmory and Politoed can handle 2-on-2, or at least slightly chipped 2-on-2. So yeah, so I usually put as such a Donphan up front, do as much damage as possible, and then depending on what happens, like if I got a Lapras or a Ludicolo, I will tend to usually swap into Politoed. Just from the point of view of water absorb, and I have rest. I have Resto Chesto with Politoed. So, but and then if it's a grass Pokemon like Venusaur or something that I would normally go to Skarmory just so that I can set up some double teams, protect, and then if it's like a double team in Venusaur, which has caused me problems in the past, like Roar is just so good, just breaks up the rhythm of anything that they're doing, or like a Snorlax that's cursing in front of you, just roar it out and get rid of it for a turn or two, and you can always bring it back in by roaring again. So that's kind of the main strategy in the team. Really is like Donphan early pressure with Skarmory to stall and Politoed kind of to stall to a degree as well, to kind of get you through. And if I can get into a situation where I have 2 or 3 Pokemon left and they're down to their last Pokemon, I'll usually try to get Politoed out, Perish Song, and then retreat back to Skarmory and then just stall the end of the match, and then Perish Song wins.
So, quick question on Perish Song. If you do Perish Song, they will switch if they can. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I use it like a 3-turn roar.
I like that because there's so many Pokemon. I'm just like, I hate that Pokemon and I can't kill it. And it's like, that's just an answer to pretty much anything you don't like, as long as you can survive. But that makes more sense why your 2 other Pokemon now have Protect. As long as one of them's alive, you're increasing your chance of
Like I have, when you meet Ludicolo as well, like for example, he's just a very annoying Pokemon, but like it'll go like Rain Dance turn 1, and you're like, okay, so now I'm in trouble. It has a speed boost, and it probably has Fire Punch, Thunder Punch, and maybe Ice Punch or just Surf. So I have gotten into a situation before where like Ludicolo has set up Rain Dance, so I will swap into Politoed. Politoed will take the Surf, and then I have a fair idea that he's going to go Thunder Punch. So then I'll just immediately swap into Donphan. Donphan takes no damage from Thunder Punch, Protect. Then it Surfs again. So I'm just wasting its PP by being able to swap constantly into different Pokemon. That's usually how I'm able to get by like bulky, big water and grass Pokemon, is kind of because I'm able to swap. But my team has a fair amount of limitations as well. If one of them goes down, I can struggle. I can struggle towards the mid to late game without the ability to swap. It can hurt me a lot.
Let's go into Skarmory. How'd you train this? Because I see he's got over 400 defense. That's a good amount.
Yeah, so its IVs are 28 in HP, 3 in attack, 31 in defense, 18 in special attack, 31 in special defense, and 27 in speed. And it has an impish nature, so it's plus defense minus special attack. And I trained it in 252 in HP, 232 in defense, and 24 in special defense. The reason why I just kind of wanted it to have like max defense is that I just wanted it to be able to handle as much of a threat as it possibly can. So the only thing that Skarmory is really afraid of is a strong fire Pokemon or a strong lightning Pokemon, and Politoed can handle strong fire Pokemon, and Donphan can handle strong electric Pokemon. So he's kind of good coverage there. The only thing that I would say was surprising to me with Skarmory, obviously his special defense isn't that high. It's only 182. That stab Surf from like a Lapras can actually do a lot of damage. I've been crit killed before by a Surf from a Lapras. So yeah, so the main reason really for Skarmory was just that it has so many immunities. The steel typing is great. It doesn't get earthquaked. It can just sit there, toxic, double team protect, just spam double team protect and just sit there in front of them. If a Chansey's going to do it to me, my Skarmory is going to do it to you. That's the way I kind of play the game, is like, if you're going to play cheesy, I'll play cheesy too, like, and the reason Skarmory is called Danger Bird is because I don't know. Do you know the artist Neil Young? He's old like country western singer, I suppose. He's like in his 80s now.
Wait, Neil Young, did he sing what's the song? Like, isn't that what's his most popular song? Why am I not thinking of this?
He's got Heart of Gold. Heart of Gold is
I see
probably his
hard to
most
go, but
one of
isn't
his
the
most
one
famous.
I
Keep on
probably
Rocking the Free World.
yeah, okay, there we go. That's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
But so he made an album called Zuma with Crazy Horse, his band, and on that album is a song called Danger Bird. And his album cover is a bird, like a crude drawing of a bird using a woman as a surfboard, like flying through the pyramids, I suppose.
Interesting.
Um, it's kind of hard to describe. I have it like tattooed here on
I
me.
was like, one of your favorite
Um,
albums?
yeah, it's a great album, right? But the Danger Bird song is a great song. There's like a 2 minute acoustic guitar instrumental at the start of the song. It's very, very good. But I don't know, there's something about, like, if you look up the picture for Zuma album with Neil Young, you'll see it's kind of a crude drawing, but I just thought the bird to me was like, he has like a little cheeky smile on his face, is like, that's Skarmory. Like, he's just there.
It kind of does look like Skarmory because it's got that long beak.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
it's got to be. That is a very interesting drawing.
Yeah, it's very crude. Very, very crude. But yeah, so that's where Danger Bird came from, because I was like, it is a dangerous bird. Like, sure, I think you had somebody on the podcast saying that, like, yeah, the lore of Skarmory is that its feathers are used as swords and stuff like that.
That's
So
so cool.
yeah. Plus, also, I know you didn't play through Gold and Silver, but like, when you encounter Skarmory in Gold and Silver in the originals, I think it's like just before the sixth gym, and when you meet it, you're like, must be like a legendary Pokemon. It's impossible to kill, because Steel was just such a new type. But so yeah, that's kind of my memory of Skarmory. So I was like, got to be on the team because it's just so tanky, man. It takes, like, I've been double edged before by like Wailord, and it did like 15 damage, and I was just like, okay, like,
You heal that
okay,
up with
I'm just
leftovers,
gonna,
probably more than that.
yeah, I can just sit there. The only thing that Skarmory struggles with is if I get Leech Seed. If I get Leech Seed,
Mm-hmm.
I can't. Yeah, I can't get away. But I didn't actually realize that you can swap out a Leech Seed. Like, if you just retreat, like, swap Pokemon, Leech Seed disappears, which I didn't know. But um, yeah, so that's kind of Skarmory to say. The only thing with Skarmory is, like, terrified of fire Pokemon and terrified of lightning Pokemon. But most other Pokemon it can handle pretty well, apart from, yeah. I don't know, Joey. You've talked before on your podcast about, like, you nearly have, like, I describe it as, like, you nearly have PTSD about certain Pokemon when you meet them in the tower, like that. They kind of like strike the fear of God into you
They do.
if you're a holy person, like, you know. But I found I was playing recently and I got to, like, I think it was a round, like, or sorry, battle like 43 or 44 in the tower, and his first Pokemon out was Lantern, and I was like, this should be no problem. And that Lantern just destroyed my whole team. I didn't hit it. I couldn't hit it. Which really made me think that maybe Lantern may need to join the team instead of Politoed. I'm not 100% sure, but it was like max special attack, max speed Lantern with Surf, Thunderbolt, and Ice Beam. Uh, it just caused absolute carnage to my team. I couldn't stop it.
I
Couldn't
never
stop
really
it.
thought of Lantern either, but actually, someone I talked to yesterday used Lantern on a team and just walking me through the moves it can learn, and it has the Volt Absorb or Volt Absorb ability
Mm.
too. Like, it just, I don't know, it seemed like a really good Pokemon. Just haven't
Mm.
thought about it.
The one in there's one in the tower that has max special attack and max speed, and it's so quick, and it hits really, really hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I could be wrong, but I think, is Lantern only weak to grass? I think it's only weak to
Let's
grass moves.
see.
So it's
Grass and ground, actually.
grass and ground. Yeah, I couldn't. My Donphan just, there was no point even trying to attempt an earthquake. I was going to get surfed or ice beamed immediately. So, and that's what happened. So yeah, it's the tower is forever grinding. But yeah. So yeah, that's kind of Skarmory's kind of job, I suppose. Is the main idea with him is get him out there to stall as quickly as you can. If you can poison something with toxic, poison it. If not, roar and change up the order. That's the big thing with not allowing something to sit in front of you and set up. I learned that the hard way with I don't know if you've come across there's an executor in the tower that like has no grass moves, and I was like terrified of putting Politoed in with it, but it just knows like return, curse, and like something else.
I have not
And it
encountered
just
that yet.
yeah, it just like
It's set up
spams
and it was over.
curse. Yeah, and then it hits you with return and you're dead.
Hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, that's why I was just like roar. I debated putting roar on Donphan as well, but I said I'd rather not. I'd rather keep it to be like pretty physical attacker, and the protect obviously just it buys me a turn and wastes PP as well. And then you have Politoed then kind of fits kind of nicely into the triangle of the tree, I suppose. But the main reason I went to Politoed is I always had an affinity to Poliwag. Really like Poliwag, and Poliwrath as well as a really cool Pokemon. I suppose the lore of Politoed's name is Buffon is the name, and it kind of comes from two places. Is that a toad? We have a breed of toad in Ireland called a natterjack toad. And in Latin, its name is Buffo calimata. So Buffo is like toad in Latin. And I'm a big soccer fan. I follow a lot of Italian soccer, and Juventus is the team that I follow. And the goalkeeper that we had for years was a fella called Gianluigi or Gigi Buffon. So, and I think Politoed looks like a goalkeeper because he kind of looks like he has like a pair of gloves. He
Wait, it
kind
kind
of
of does.
so he has like little goalkeeper gloves, and I was like, so Buffo being a toad in Latin and Buffon being a goalkeeper and one of my favorite players, I was like, it makes sense. I'm just going to call him Buffon. And I have actually a Poliwag ready to go to turn into a Poliwrath that I've called Gigi. So I have a Poliwrath that's called Gigi and a Politoed that's called Buffon. So
That's
that's a bit of synergy.
very unique name, but it's very fitting for that Pokemon. I think for Poliwrath too. I mean, Poliwrath's got the boxing gloves, but it could also just be any gloves. You know, it could also be for soccer.
Yeah, exactly.
Or football.
Yeah, soccer. Yeah. So Politoed. What kind of drew it to me was I really like water absorb. I just thought that like if there's a turn that I can get like almost calculate that I'm going to get hit with a water move and then swap Politoed in, it can heal me, but at least I'm not taking any damage. That's the way I look at it. It's like a damage-less turn. Same Donphan with any electric move, no damage, and even grass moves against Skarmory, I take no damage. So that's kind of my logical way of thinking. Is like I'm not taking any damage. So that's why I went for water absorb, and then it has modest nature because Politoed is only a water Pokemon, so I wanted to make sure that it could do something with Surf. So my Politoed has 30 IVs in HP, 10 in attack, 12 in defense, 31 in special attack, 30 in special defense, and 22 in speed. And I trained it in 252 in HP, 140 in special defense, and 116 in special attack. So I kind of split the EVs so that I could do a little bit of damage, but I could also tank quite a lot of damage with my high special defense. So Politoed's kind of main kind of role in the team is to kind of eat all water moves. And if there's like a Lapras or like as I say, like a Ludicolo setting up in front of me, get Politoed out there, Perish Song. That's it goes 3 count, 2 count, and 1 count. So he'll go out there, Perish Song, hopefully survives that turn. Then take him back, hopefully for Skarmory, and then put Skarmory out if Skarmory can take a Surf or take and any other move for a turn, then protect, and then once Perish Song drops down to its number 1 count, it'll always swap out if they have something in the back. So I can then set up a double team, or what I have been doing a lot recently is, as I know the switch is going to happen, I immediately go for the toxic. So once they switch in their Pokemon, they're immediately getting toxic by Skarmory, and now it's my first turn, so I can protect or I can double team after that with Skarmory. So that's kind of way I kind of Politoed kind of pops in at time to time, does a Perish Song, comes back out again, and if that water Pokemon comes back out again, Politoed can come back out, Perish Song again, and then come back. So he can't do a lot of damage. Surf and Ice Beam don't do a lot of damage, but they're there for coverage, really, to kind of give me some of the stab. Water and Ice Beam is just, I'm terrified of dragon Pokemon like Dragonite or Salamence. So he can learn Psychic as well. So I was debating Psychic, but Ice Beam I think is just a little bit better, and the chance to freeze, even though it doesn't really happen at all, but I would rather take that, and rest then is just so I can have a bit of bulk. So yeah, that's kind of the synergy, I suppose, of the team. Yeah, just interesting to see what you think. Or is there's any glaring omissions that you think that you change?
Everything.
Or...
No, I'm kidding. I love the fact that Politoed has the water. The water absorb is, I think, I need to have a Pokemon on my teams with that, because like you love, sounds like you love Donphan, obviously. Water is just really, detrimental to Donphan. So it's like a Pokemon like Politoed on the team. Man, I think that's something I need. Maybe not Politoed, but one of the water absorb Pokemon. Maybe it could be Politoed, but
you can put Poliwrath. Poliwrath learns water absorb as well as, I think, Lapras maybe, and
I think
Vaporeon. Yeah, Vaporeon would be good.
But now, can they learn Perish Song? I think actually Lapras can learn Perish Song, but the fact that it's such a good combo.
Yeah, the only thing I suppose, and it's like, you're a fellow, I think, ground loving Pokemon. You like ground based Pokemon, and you know how much like water does damage, how grass does damage as well. So having someone like Politoed that just gives me the ability to swap in, or Skarmory that I can swap into like a Razor Leaf or anything like that, or a Solar Beam, and it does absolutely like no damage to Skarmory at all, it's ideal. That's why I was kind of saying this team is kind of, it's more built for the tower, I think, just because each one of these Pokemon has a fairly strong limitation. Like, Fire, Lightning against Skarmory, Lightning, Grass, Politoed, and then Ice, Grass, and Water against Donphan. So there's a lot. They have a lot of weaknesses. So it's just trying to blend them together. When's the right time to swap in, swap out? But yeah, go on. Keep.
One thing that you said that was interesting was about Skarmory, like purposely not training it in special defense, because the 2 weaknesses that it does have, it's built into the team itself. So it's like, what's the point? Because there's some situations where you might need additional special defense, like you mentioned, with like getting hit with a surf. But if it's like, this is like the main physical wall, like, and you have that out, like it's almost like a guarantee not to get hit. But then if you predict something, you can easily swap and either waste that PP, or just you can use the rest of the team and like maximize, I guess, that part of like the stats and stuff. Kind of lost my train of thought there, but essentially, yeah, it is interesting, that decision, but it makes complete sense based on the team.
Yeah, I suppose like Donphan's high defense and high health as well. Like, it can take a fair amount of physical punishment. Like, it can eat earthquakes. It can eat most physical attacks. The interesting thing with Politoed is very weak physically. So having Skarmory being like, I suppose, ultra jacked, I suppose, if you want to call it, in terms of defense, it just means that, like, if anything, if Donphan is gone and there's something very, very physical there, like, Skarmory most of the time can handle it by itself, because Politoed is, I suppose the way I can put it to you is that like Donphan's up front doing a bit of work, Skarmory usually comes in, tidies up, and sometimes see out the game. And Politoed is kind of like the cheerleader on the side who pops in and out every now and again, says a little song, little parish song, and then pops back out again. And Min maybe shows his head if it's the last Pokemon, pop back out, parish song, and then back in again. That's kind of the way I use Politoed. It's he's kind of there just kind of more to accommodate Donphan and Skarmory, really. But yeah, I didn't think I would get as high as I did with its physical defense in Skarmory being like 411, but it definitely. I don't know how the damage calcs work around that, but I noticed it in terms of like essentially like a double edge Wailord does like basically nothing to me. Any type of physical attack does basically nothing to Skarmory. It's really only as such I just have to watch out for fire Pokemon, lightning Pokemon, and Surf Crit could nearly one shot Skarmory, but he can live, and then I can protect and I can bait another Surf and then swap the Politoed. It just gives me a bit of breathing room. Also, I don't know if you know from the AI or in Emerald, but like if they Surf or they Bubble Beam Politoed, then they remember that it has water absorb, so they won't use any more water moves on Politoed while he's in the field. But then if you swap Politoed out and swap him back in again, they've forgotten that Politoed has water absorb. I find that you can kind of abuse that system with water absorb to get back all your health and just kind of like slow the game down to a degree if something's kind of getting out of hand. But
is there something is there instances where Perish Song doesn't work? Like I don't fully understand the move. Like can you still target ghost Pokemon and things like that? Or?
I did only realize this recently, but Perish Song doesn't have any. It's not 100% accurate. It hits everything that's on the field.
Okay, it just hits.
Yeah, so like you can have a Chansey that has +6 evasiveness, and Perish Song hits it. Perish Song always hits, as long as the Pokemon is in the field. It hits. Apart from.
Good to know.
There's a couple of soundproof Pokemon, I think, isn't it? Like Loudred. I don't think Perish Song can affect them. Loudred and something else.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to look that up. What's the thing called? Loudred, you said?
Soundproof, I think, is the ability.
Soundproof. Yeah.
That's the only thing that Perish Song can't work on. But they're not, like, Loudred isn't that much of a threat to me.
Yeah, and Exploud, too. I mean... It doesn't. RAR also doesn't work, but but you got Earthquake, and I'm pretty sure it's probably gonna do a whole bunch of damage to it, or you can just Toxic it. Yeah, so it's not like an issue.
Yeah, and as well, like, does Whirlwind have priority, or is it like Roar and have -3?
I think it's just like RAR, but it doesn't. It still affects soundproof Pokemon.
Yeah, so like that is one thing that I would say about Perish Song. Like Politoed isn't the fastest, but if you're faster, you get Perish Song off first. So then that hits, and then you just have to take that turn of hit, and then you swap Politoed out. And then you're nearly home free, I suppose. After that, that's the way kind of Perish Song works. I think I've thought about it a long time, but whether to put like I could put Hypnosis on Politoed, I could put Psychic on Politoed, but Perish Song has got me over the line a lot, especially with like Vileplume with Petal Dance and Ingrain or Double Team. Vileplume is just they're what haunt my nightmares.
It's such a cool Pokemon. For me, I just like that Pokemon. I gotta build one. But this Perish Song is giving me some ideas because I got the cogs working up here for some other teams, but I haven't. Perish Song was a thought a while ago, and then I was like, it's probably not that good. But then hearing it actually on a team, and then it's just I'm thinking about stuff. So it's definitely nice.
The way my team works is that Donphan usually has to put a bit of work in first. So if I can knock out their first Pokemon, and then it's down to 2, and if Donphan is still alive and it's 3v2, I have a very good chance. But as I said, once I get them down one more Pokemon and they're on their last Pokemon, all I have to do is get Politoed in for one turn, get him to Perish Song, and then it's game.
Yeah, you just gotta survive. And you got the protect, so
yeah, and I can just I think it's like getting past somebody in a corridor. Like Skarmory usually just goes, "That's grand. I'm just going to slip by you there. Thanks very much. I win again. Thanks. Bye." That's kind of the way my team just kind of slips by a lot of problems.
We've kind of mentioned some Pokemon that'll give this team issues. Anything with like pretty much fire, water, and electric. But is there certain like specific Pokemon and sets that when you see you're just like it just ruins your day, ruins your runs?
I've never felt anything towards Venomoth.
Venomoth,
but Venomoth. I know you have a shiny Venomoth, I think, don't you?
It's the luckiest shiny I ever got.
I really like moths. I never had any like hatred towards Venomoth, but Venomoth with Psychic, Giga Drain, Sleep Powder, and I can't remember its fourth move, causes my team a lot of problems. I don't think it's ever knocked me out, but every time I see Venomoth, I'm like, oh, this is going to be like a 45-minute battle.
I don't think I've ever heard that before, but that's a great. So was it? So I'm looking at two of them. One's got Signal Beam, Psychic, Sludge Bomb, Giga Drain, and then one's got Silver Wind, Psybeam, Sleep Powder, Skill Swap.
Yeah, it's the Giga Drain one is the one that it just. And that is just Skarmory has to 1v1 that for me to get through.
Can that Giga Drain one-shot Donphan? Because I'm thinking, well, if you hit that with a Rock Slide, you're probably all set. But I'm guessing there's something.
Venomoth is fast. Venomoth is faster than me, and if Donphan has any chip on him, Giga Drain will one-shot him.
Huh.
His special defense is like non-existent, basically. Like he can't take like any type. Ice Beam one-shots him. Giga Drain will usually nearly one-shot him, and Surf always one-shots him. Like I've got like I think I got critted by like Water Pulse before from like a Sea King, and it killed Donphan. Like Donphan can't. It doesn't have the ability to endure.
The Venomoth is the killer of this team.
Yeah, Venomoth, like any type of like, and I don't know. I swear that the tower is kind of out to get me. I get like lots of the earlier rounds will be like Venusaur Vileplume, like, or I'll get like a Lilip and Ludicolo, and I'm like, why is it specifically loads of like two of the three Pokemon are water and grass, which are two problems for my team?
It just knows your team is weak.
Yeah,
it studied your team.
Yeah, but yeah, so yeah, kind of like Venomoth hasn't knocked me out of a run, but it definitely slows my progress down. Same with like Vileplume, I've met it a few times, causes me a lot of problems, but I can usually get by it if I just TP stall it, and then if Politoed can come out, I can Ice Beam it, and usually it'll die. Like, yeah, mainly big water Pokemon and big grass Pokemon, because I don't have an answer to water Pokemon. Like I have no way of kind of one-shotting or two-shotting them, and Donphan just can't stay in there, can't take any type of damage at that. But that's where I kind of had, I don't know, have you ever looked into like Electabuzz and Magmar's, like their learn sets? Because I built an Electabuzz specifically, I suppose, to solve all my problems that I currently have in the Battle Tower because of its moveset. But Electabuzz has really high special attack, and its speed is pretty good. So I trained in Electabuzz. It's part of my Kanto team at the minute. I might swap it out for Magmar. I'm not 100% sure yet. But Electabuzz can learn Thunderbolt, obviously. It can learn Ice Punch, and it can learn Fire Punch, and it can learn Psychic.
That's a crazy moveset.
Yeah, just as raw coverage. Like I'm not going to put anything into HP, anything into defense. a complete glass cannon and just I'm going to try to punch anything that comes out first. That's kind of my tactic. But Magmar is very similar. He can learn Thunder Punch, Flamethrower, Fire Blast, Psychic. He can learn as well, and he can learn Brick Break or Cross Chop. So I was thinking of something like that for my Kanto team, just because obviously I'm kind of learning as I go in the tower and kind of what's type coverage like that. Like I thought of you when I see Ludicolo a lot of the time. I don't mean to associate you with Ludicolo, but
Oh no.
I'm like afraid. Like when you see Ludicolo, I kind of think of like, okay, it's going to rain dance, and then it's going to hit me with one of the elemental punches pretty quickly. And I just think type coverage on a Pokemon can be quite good. So that's why I thought about Electabuzz and Magmar, because they do have like Electabuzz to be able to use ice, fire, electric, and psychic is crazy. Like I have such type coverage, I can do put a lot of pressure on. That's and obviously you can see with Skarmory, Politoed, and Donphan, I don't like the easy route for Pokemon training. Obviously, the harder the grind, the better.
Like, yeah, like kind of mentioning the type coverage. I think that's why like that spit build is so good on Starmie, is because you just get access to so many different moves and you get 2 stabs. I mean, the fact that like Electabuzz does have access to like all or very similar moves. Maybe not the stab on 2 moves, but it's still, I think, probably a very good Pokemon to have as like a physical or like a special fast sweeper.
And he's like, I think at like level 100, the Electabuzz I have at the minute, I call this Buzzkill, because if you meet him, it's going to be a Buzzkill for you. But he, I have him at level 50, and I think his speed is like 170 something. So at level 100, it should be close to like 350, which is pretty quick. He's only outsped by like Aerodactyl, Crobat, and maybe Jolteon in the tower. And Jolteon won't cause me too much problems, and either will Crobat. It's mainly Aerodactyl will be the only issue I think I will have with Electabuzz.
Are there things that you're like for I guess your Johto team? Are there? And I guess this one, is there other things you're considering about swapping out, whether the moves, items, or maybe another Pokemon? Or what are you thinking about for the Johto team?
The Johto team, I want to keep going in the tower a little bit more. I've attempted the tower 14 times, and I've got my highest streak was 44 or 45, which isn't too bad. I keep a little note section on my phone of how I lost. All my losses, I
You can learn
count
from
them. Oh, definitely, yeah. I know what to be afraid of from my losses section, but I hadn't thought about swapping anything out until I met that Lantern that had Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, and Surf. And I think it may have had Rain Dance. I'm not 100% sure, but it was quick. It was quick anyway. But that was the only Pokemon I think that I thought of, like that. It showed up the limitations of Politoed, of being able to like cover with Water Absorb. But other than that, I've never thought, like, Skarmory is an amazing Pokemon. Like it's probably one of the stars of the team. And Donphan puts in a lot of work. Politoed would probably be the only one that I would debate, just because he's kind of like a bulky water type. Like I could put like Kingdra in there, and do the same kind of build with him, like Surf, Ice Beam. I don't know, does Kingdra learn Perish Song? But
I don't think so. About check.
Could probably. I could teach him probably something else.
Dragon Dance.
Maybe
Not the same thing, but
Dragon Dance. Yeah. Make it a physical attacking one. Yeah, that's probably the only thing. I definitely think it needs, like, the Water Absorb, as we were talking about. It's kind of needed to cover Skarmory and to Donphan to a degree. So I wish Politoed was like a little bit better. But yeah, that Lantern is the only thing that's made me think maybe a Lantern instead of Politoed. But I'm not at like like desperation station where I'm like, I need to get this gold medal. I'm going to sacrifice my team. I quite like the team because it means a lot to me. Like I like Politoed as a Pokemon, Skarmory is a great Pokemon, and I like it a lot. And Donphan, as I said, yeah, I've always kind of been a fan of it. So, um, other than that, yeah, Lantern is probably the only one that I would debate kind of subbing in there. Is there anything that you could see? Is there like because you never taught a Donphan before, have you, or have you just never? You're like, oh no, he's like a little stupid elephant. I'm not interested in him.
No, Donphan's awesome. I got too many other ground Pokemon. I like more. I do have a shiny Phanpy though. When I was trying to get the shiny Larvitar, one of those did pop up. So now I'm like, gosh, I just train it and just see what it looks like and test it out. But that is a thought. Real quick though, Kingdra does not learn Parasong, sadly. So, but I'm wondering. So Skarmory moveset, you have. I'm wondering why you don't have, let's say, Aerial Ace or Drill Peck, because that would help you with the grass matchups potentially.
Yeah, toxic, like not being able to toxic Vileplume and Venusaur, they can be quite problematic. Roar in that aspect helps in that situation, and Roar helps me with like Snorlax or any type of other Pokemon like a Gyarados using Dragon Dance. And I just love I love spamming double team, protect, double team, protect, double team, protect. Because it just, and while all that's going on, every time you miss or every time I protect, I'm regaining health with leftovers. And because my physical defense and my HP are so high, like it takes a lot of damage to actually get through Skarmory. So you have to use a lot of PP to knock it out. So that's why like I was like, I think it has to have protect, it has to have double team. Roar is something that has come in clutch for me so many times. Just being able to move, as I said, you change the order of the Pokemon that you're facing or move them around, that something isn't constantly setting up. Like I think it was like an hour and a half fighting. I think it was a Venomoth and a Vileplume before in one team, where I was like, would roar, then Vileplume would set up Petal Dance. It would miss because I was at +6 evasive, and then I would just protect. It would waste 2 turns of PP. Then I would roar it out, bring Venomoth in. Venomoth would try to hit me. I would protect, waste its PP. It's very good for stalling, and then Toxic I felt was a better move than limiting myself to a flying type move, because apart from those awkward grass Pokemon that I can poison, I can damage so many other things with Toxic. I really like, because I've never used it, but Skarmory can also, through an egg move, I think learn Sky Attack, which is like I think the most damaging flying move in the game or something. It's like 120 or 150 damage. So I would probably try to learn Sky Attack instead of like Peck or Fly. Probably Sky Attack if I could breed it.
Yeah, hits 140 base. Oh, it hits the next turn, 90% accuracy.
Next turn, sorry.
That's awesome move. I didn't even see that when I was looking at this Pokemon. Sky Attack. That's kind of cool.
I think it's an egg move.
Yeah, it's an egg move.
I think it's an egg. Yeah. I debated that for a little bit. Would I put Sky Attack on it? But yeah, there is definitely. I just feel like if I could have a 5th move slot, I would have Aerial Ace for Skarmory. I just find that Toxic, Protect, Double Team, and Roar they're invaluable. Like Roar is arguably probably the best move on my team. Just being able to move the order, change the order,
control the game.
Yeah, kind of. You set it to your pace rather than like something cursing or double teaming in front of you. You can kind of run away from you. You know.
So I guess what I'm kind of hearing is the moves on Skarmory right now, or I guess a better way to put it is a flying move like Aerial Ace, Sky Attack, something like that. The benefits of that don't outweigh the current build you got on Skarmory.
I think it's pretty solid. I have thought about, as such a with, I could potentially put something like Toxic on Donphan instead of Rock Slide. Um, but or Protect, but I like Protect on Donphan just to waste PP. And kind of bait the second Surf for Politoed to swap in. But if I did put Toxic on Donphan, the only issue I have then is if I run into something like Gengar. My Donphan can't kill it. And then Donphan just becomes like a dead leg for my team. So that's why I was like, I have to kind of keep Rock Slide on Donphan, even though I don't use it a lot, because when you need it, and I know not to bring up Tails of the Pyramid, but it'll usually miss. Like when you need Rock Slide to hit, it usually misses. But yeah, so yeah, I'd like to see if you have anything else. Like, would you put Psychic on Politoed even to, to do a bit more damage than Ice Beam? Maybe, I'm not 100% sure.
The dragon types are too lethal. Having that 4 times hit on a dragon, I think, is just too good. Like, I feel like there's so many reasons to have an ice move if you can have one, that I think, yeah. So obviously you want the Surf, Parasong works. I think Rest, I don't know. Rest makes sense though, like, because you want the bulk, you got the Chesto, but then I don't really know if the Psychic would the benefits of Psychic would outweigh having the Rest on right now, because the Rest also combos pretty good with the Parasong setup, allowing you to stay in the game even like 1 turn longer. That's huge.
And often, if I Perish Song just to waste a turn, I will immediately rest. So then Politoed is awake with 1 or 2 turns of Perish Song left, and then I swap him out, and now he's fully ready to come back in again.
I'm looking at Donphan's build. It actually, or movesets it can learn, but it's not that much. But I'm wondering, this is what I'm kind of looking at. Iron Tail seems like not a bad option. Double Team, and then do you know what the hidden power is? Those seem to be maybe consideration.
My hidden power was Dark, and it did 15 base damage. So I was like, that gotta go. And I had Double Team. I had Double Team on Donphan originally. My original idea actually was to use Sandstorm on Donphan to improve with Sandveil. I think it has a hidden ability, Sandveil, and to kind of use that with Skarmory, because Skarmory doesn't take chip from Sandstorm as well, and then maybe Bright Powder Donphan. But I found, because Donphan's slow, like, I'm always getting hit first, and because he can't take any type of special attack, I found that like setting weather with a slow Pokemon, I don't think is a good idea. I think, like, fair enough with like Tyranitar, who comes in and he sets the weather before he actually does anything, but Donphan to get Sandstorm off was too slow, so I couldn't make use of Sandveil. So that's why I was kind of like, I'll just kind of stick to these moves.
Wait, what's getting Sandveil? Is it Donphan?
Donphan has a Sandveil, I think, as a hidden ability. So when Sandstorm is up, he's whatever, like 15%.
Is that in this game too?
Maybe it is. I thought it was, but
I mean, I'm still learning everything. I see Gen 5, or I see Gen 5 is where that probably, or it says it starts.
Is that where it is? Oh, okay.
But I mean, I don't know everything, so maybe it does. Somebody knows.
Yeah.
Let us know down below.
I know I fought something in the tower that set up Sandstorm on me, and Donphan, it missed. Whether the move, I couldn't remember what move they used on me, but it missed anyway during the Sandstorm. So I was like, maybe it's the Sandveil. I'm not 100% sure, but
I think, like, for like this team, I don't have, I think, any other maybe questions or things, but is there something maybe I didn't ask, or that you want to make a note of this team that we haven't talked about already?
No, I think the team kind of covers its points well. Like, it's kind of strong physical attacker who's ground based, the flying stall, and then you have the kind of Politoed is kind of my special attack / special defense kind of tank to a degree. So I think they cover each other quite well. I'd be interested to know, not to be putting you on the spot, like, but would you ever consider, or could you throw together a Johto-based team or a Kanto-based team? Would you ever think about limiting yourself by region? I know, obviously, like you're a big fan of
That's a
like
good video
Tyranitar,
idea.
obviously, like
I'll make it up. Add that to the list. It's a
just a
region-based
region.
team.
That's why I'm like, that's why I was like going to build a Kanto team, build a Johto team, and build a home team in time.
I mean, thinking about it now, like for Johto, I think Skarmory, Steelix, and Tyranitar. That's a spicy team right there.
Mm.
And I mean, Hoenn, we got so many good options, but probably Metagross, Aggron. Why am I blanking out?
Melodic, you could do Melodic as well.
Yeah, that's a cool Pokemon. Probably Flygon. I'm thinking about it. Yeah, that'd be sick. Quickly thinking of Kanto too. Oh, Rhydon. I'm looking for a reason to use Rhydon, but Nidoking. Yeah, that's so cool. Charizard, Nidoking, Vileplume, Rhydon, Gyarados. Oh. Yeah, I got some good options. Got some good options.
Yeah, I just like to say I like the idea of like trying to have a team where like you came from the Johto region, so just you carried that Johto team to the frontier and try to do battle with the 3 different generations, and you just stick to one generation. But
yep.
Yeah, I don't think I have too much else to say about the team apart from like I think the items kind of are self-explanatory to a degree. But like leftovers on Skarmory, I think is a no-brainer. If I got rid of rest on Politoed, I could put something there, maybe Bright Powder, and get rid of the Chesto. Maybe put Psychic on it, and then Donphan. I've swapped its item around from Focus Band. I don't know if you've had ever any joy with Focus Band, but like I tried like it never triggers for me. Like it just never triggers.
Not a good item. Like, it's just not a good item.
Yeah. But yeah, like other than that, I don't think like I think the items they have are possibly the best that they can do with their current builds. I think. I was going to ask you a question about the pyramid. I've had this kind of like thought recently, so I've gotten my silver in the pyramid with this team, but I'm thinking about adding Rapidash to the team, just from the point of view of Runaway, having that ability that I can always flee wild encounters, so I can kind of preserve my items for the pyramid. And now that I'm past the Reggies and I'm going towards the Kanto legendary birds, I'm pretty sure Rapidash would probably be able to take down Articuno. Just your thoughts in general. Had you ever thought about Rapidash?
I didn't. I thought about using a runaway Pokemon like once or twice. I forgot why I decided to not, but I think it could be a good idea. Probably for the later rounds, I think it makes more sense than the earlier ones. Like the earlier ones, you kind of want to get the items, and maybe even if you want to use like that pickup strategy. But I am no means expert at the pyramid. I've gotten my butt whooped a couple times, but I think it'd be something good to probably test out. Probably could take down Articuno, but then you definitely need like an answer to the other two birds. Let's see. I'm sure what moves Rapidash can learn. Man, I didn't know we were gonna start talking about the pyramid.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think Rapidash has better physical attack than it does special attack.
Oh,
so
yeah,
maybe like one fire.
It's got 100
one
base.
fire move on it. And it's quick.
It does have an egg move, Hypnosis, which could be, kind of good.
Yeah, I think you can teach it Solar Beam as well.
You can.
Sunny Day Solar Beam.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I hadn't really thought of what way to build it. I like the idea of a very fast runaway Pokemon that can do a bit of work as well. That's not like a Rattata or whatever, something that can do something in the pyramid. Because I made through the silver. It's my first time ever attempting the pyramid. I got all the way to the silver.
Nice.
So I'm pretty happy with that. So it was kind of what I found like I was struggling with was the volume of wild encounters and how they kind of, even though you try to run away, they still chip damage you or do status damage you, whereas the runaway, I just thought like it could just give you a bit more breathing space, so you can kind of search the map a bit more, find out where the trainers are without taking any damage. Basically, just for scouting. That's what I was kind of
I
thinking.
think a pretty good idea. I would definitely try it out, but I mean, if you do, let me know how that goes. Because again, I haven't tried I've tried very minimal things in the pyramid. I still have not gotten the gold yet, so got close, but haven't got it.
Have you got the gold in the factory? Have you done much factory?
I got silver, but have not gotten the gold. I'm just bad. I think it's the easy way to explain it. I'm just not good at the factory.
No, honestly, the factory to me is it's all to do with your draft. If you get a good draft, you're laughing. So I got the gold in the factory on I think my like 6th or 7th run of the factory, but uh, I gotta say like the team that I had, so I got like Calm Mind, Rest, Entei on my draft, with I think it was like a Gengar with like Hypnosis, maybe Dream Eater or something like that. So I was like a pretty solid team, and I had a Tentacruel that had like Giga Drain, Surf, whatever. But the first battle I did in that round, in round 7, whatever that, it was Suicune with Calm Mind, the best Pokemon in the game. But I was able to get past that Suicune with the Tentacruel. So for my gold run, I had Calm Mind Suicune, Calm Mind Entei,
That's
and
crazy.
Gengar to get like the power. Like I was able to just get past Noland and done.
Yeah, that's like
That's all because
dream
of the draft.
team.
You know, that's just the draft. That's honestly for me the factory. It's all to do with luck. Like whatever you get given.
You play the luck a little bit too, but yeah, it is. Sometimes you just probably get some garbage Pokemon with bad move sets that are just not as optimal. And then, but yeah, there is some elements of luck. I think in probably every part of the frontier, but just got to play it a little bit and minimize that risk.
Yeah, definitely.
I do have some fun questions to ask you, and then we could go back to if you have any other random questions for me. Do you remember like some of your? I think you mentioned one earlier, so apologies if this might be a duplicate. But maybe think of another one. But some of your earliest Pokemon memories. It could be the cards, games, the show. Like what's your earliest memory of Pokemon?
I think it was probably when my friend used like a lightning stone on a Pikachu. He found Pikachu in Viridian Forest, I would say. And then got the lightning stone and turned it into a Raichu. I was just like, I remember that being like 8 years of age, being like, how did you learn that information? Where did you get it?
That's sorcery.
Yeah, I suppose that's probably one of my first memories, and then learning about like Machamp, Alakazam, Gengar, and Golem, obviously. The trade evolutions for me, that kind of blew my mind. And just on like a side note, but like to even think about like the like Red and Blue, the original Gen 1 Pokemon games, that like they taught so much about synergy. Like if you think of like many games, there's not many games that make you buy 2 versions of the same game. And then it kind of like, you can think of it as 2 different ways. I think you can think of it as like, oh, they've like duplicated the game, and now wealthy people will have to buy like 2 versions for their kid. Or the way I like to think about it is that, which I think is the original thought of the game, the development of Pokemon, which is that it's meant to be played with your friends. So you're meant to connect with people. And I think that's the core thing that I quite enjoy about the Pokemon games, is that like they're great by yourself, but if you have a friend, they're like, I think 10 times better, because the fact that you can like connect and trade is all that matters. Like I'll tell you my just a little bit of a side tangent, but like me and my friend, we never played through Fire Red and Leaf Green before. So we just played through it there over the last 4 months. When we got together, we play a bit. And then about three weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, we met up and we said, right, we're gonna level up some Pokemon, get them right, and then we got to do a battle. So we did a 6-on-6 with my friend, his Fire Red against my
That's
Leaf
awesome.
Green, and it was really cool. Yeah, so we had no idea who was on each other's team. All the limitation was that the Pokemon had to be level 55. That was the only thing, just because we were ready to do the Elite Four. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. We battled on Friday, and I won 6-3. I knocked out his 6. He knocked out 3 of mine. But it was my Starmie from Leaf Green that got me through the spit build. That was the only way I was able to stop him.
I think
But yeah,
that's like a good point though. Like some people probably think that they had two different games for maybe greed, but at the same time, it's maybe a little bit obviously, but probably the bigger thing was to just have something where you have to play with your friends or other people to get them like into the experience. And yeah, I haven't really thought about that before, but those little things, just trading between another, forcing you to trade to get certain Pokemon, and then like to get those evolutions, and then getting like the one or two Pokemon you need from this other game. It just kind of forces you to, hey, find some friends and get it done. But also, that's really awesome. They get together with the boys and actually play the OG games, and that's awesome.
yeah. So my friend Klein is his name. I built him a Game Boy Advance with like a IPS screen and all that, and a new shell. And for his birthday last year, I picked him up a copy of Fire Red and a copy of Emerald. A guy was selling them for pretty cheap, so I got a pretty good deal on them, and I gave them to him. And he is now like down the rabbit hole in Emerald, breeding. He's trying to breed right now. While we're on this call, he's breeding Heracrosses because he wants to make a Heracross for the Battle Frontier. So I told him, I was like, he can get on this podcast whenever his team is ready.
Yeah, when the team's ready, when he's got some we got wins under his belt, yeah, we'll chat about it. I always love to hear these different unique teams. Like even your team, Donphan. I didn't really think we'd see a Donphan like on this. I mean, again, Donphan's pretty good, but it's not like
it's limited.
Yeah, it's not something I would expect to see often. Like Skarmory, we all know Skarmory's moves and what it can do is insane. But yeah, Donphan, love to see it. I forgot the earliest memories that we asked. So your earliest memory was like the Pikachu
learning about them and the trade evolutions. Like, and that's why I say to you, is like if you didn't have a guide, like learning about Golem or learning about Machamp, and someone on the playground saying to you is like, oh, if you trade Machoke, you get a Machamp, like. And then when you went home and you did it, before the internet, obviously, I'm aging myself a little bit here. I'm 34, but
still young.
Yeah, still young. Yeah. But yeah, that's the they're the memories for me about like someone finding out a piece of information about a Pokemon, or in Gen 1 there's is it Machine Go glitch, which is like, you can have unlimited rare candies or unlimited Master Balls by surfing up and down the side of Cinnabar Island or something like that. I used to do them as a kid. But like those kind of, I suppose they're the kind of special moments to me, which are like before the internet, and like you had to like have friends, or you'd have people talking about you in school about like what the games were doing. And then other than that, then was like I probably have a problem with my hip because I had like this chunk of Pokemon cards with an elastic band on my back pocket every day when I was a child, because that's how I used to just bring them to school, like. So yeah, but yeah, sure, it was Pokemon Pandemonium in the 90s. Like it's great to see that it's coming back to a degree, but like it was everything in the 90s. Pokemon was.
It's interesting that you said like this because it makes sense. Like, excuse me. Like your one of your earliest memories is like that tribal knowledge that you just gain out of nowhere, and it's like this like enlightening moment. And like for me too, like some of my earliest memories are when I learned something about the game that I learned from a friend of just like that is in this game. Like it's just, and I think we talked to somebody else on a podcast like this weekend where they also like learn something like tribal knowledge, and it was just like a very impactful memory. It's just interesting how like that is one of the memories that sticks with us, is like something that we learned that we didn't know before that somebody told. Like it's just funny, but it makes sense.
Mm. Definitely, definitely. And in the, I suppose the last memory I have, which is because of my Game Boy Pocket, this small little guy here, and because it's black and white. So when I got Silver, I played it on this, and Silver is obviously a Pokemon Color or Game Boy Color game. So um, when I went to the Lake of Rage. And there was this Gyarados inside in the middle of it. I just caught this Gyarados, and in my black and white game, it looks like regular Gyarados. It's just a black and white Gyarados. And then I battled my friend, and he took out his Gyarados, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, it looks like a normal Gyarados." And then he showed it to me on his Game Boy Color, and I was just like, "What? Why is the Gyarados red? Why is it shiny?" I couldn't understand it or anything like that. But yeah, that was my introduction to shinies, and also like the difference, I suppose, for me between playing in a black and white console rather than a colored screen. But yeah,
It's great. All right, I got another question. I usually ask this everybody, is we can all learn from something about you. But what's something you learned in the Battle Frontier that you want to share with other people? This could be advice, motivation, maybe some words of wisdom. But what's something that you learned that you want to share?
the Battle Frontier is meant to be enjoyed. It's fun. Um, don't get lost in the weeds of stats. Don't look for 31 IVs in every Pokemon. If 28 or 29 will get you there with a bit of training, so do it. And I think in terms of like, I have played the factory, and I do believe it to be mainly luck based. Obviously, strategize your team as best as you can. The pyramid, I'm a pretty novice in, but as such, I do think there is something in maybe Rapidash Runaway. I think could be a good strategy, or as such, like with the electables that I've built, which is like can cover so much ground in terms of Psychic, Thunderbolt, Ice Punch, Fire Punch. You just get great coverage there, I think, as well. And then back to the tower, and the tower for me is it's Mount Everest with my little Donphan trying to stampede up this giant mountain. But the thing for me is like you got to look at, you're going to have problem Pokemon like Executor for me, or Lapras, or whoever like that, and you'll only, like, if you lose to a Lapras or lose to a Lantern, like I am traumatized by all Lanterns now that I see, um, is I think the enjoyment comes from me is almost like, how do I take down that Lantern? How does this team take down that Lantern? And I suppose that's what I'd kind of say to anybody when you lose in the tower or you lose in the factory. Right? Don't get discouraged. Just think of it as like, oh, well, I tried that way. I swapped Politoed in. Maybe I should have swapped Skarmory in, and then write down your notes, take your L, and then march forward. That's the way. That's the way I kind of see it. And the frontier, as I said, it's there to be enjoyed. It's like a lost relic from the past for me, the frontier, because time has moved past it, but it's still very, very enjoyable in 2025.
Like that's like the like at least when I discovered it too, and I think that other people maybe not discovering it, but just revisiting it. But this was in the game the whole time, and I just didn't know it. I mean, maybe I knew it existed, but I didn't know like the level of detail and like what it actually was. And now it's just weird. The game's like 20 something years old, and then now I'm only appreciating this aspect of the game now. It's very interesting. I don't know, but yeah, it's a good point.
But the thing for me is like, if someone had told you about let's say the battle tower when you were like 11 years of age, like there isn't a chance that you, Nighthawk, at 11 years of age, were going to be scouring what literal dial-up internet was available probably at the time to find out what the physical attack of Donphan is, what it's weak to, what its moveset is. Do you know how fast it is, how fast everything else is in the tower? The fact that we have the knowledge of knowing what sets you can come up against in the tower now, it makes it a little bit easier. But when you're a kid playing a kid's game, I don't imagine this would have been that. I think unless you use basically like Metagross, Swampert, and something else, maybe I don't think you'd have much of a chance.
I wonder if they put this in the game knowing that the audience that was targeted at the time wouldn't be able to like consistently achieve it, and then like later down the road when like when they get old they'll finally understand how to do this. Because yeah, again, there's I don't see a situation where even like maybe like high school me, or like even like I just don't see how I would win even the gold medals. Even like now I'm trying to do it, and I have access to every piece of information in the frontier, and I'm having trouble.
Yeah, that's I think one of the creators of Pokemon has said that they won't put something as difficult as the Battle Frontier ever in a Pokemon game again.
But it's so great.
Yeah, but I suppose, and that's like,
it's too much.
It is also difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's a little bit too much.
It's a little bit, and obviously, like, you know, if you didn't have access to any type of guide, like you're just walking in the dark, like just completely looking for a light switch, like the pyramid. The pyramid is a great example. You're just walking around, stumbling into stuff, getting one-shotted.
Wondering if you have any questions for me or anything you want to talk about that we haven't chatted about already.
I suppose I know you have. Do you have the gold in the dome? Do you? You have
the
a gold symbol in the dome?
and the pike, and I was very close to the pyramid, but just dome and pike.
Yeah, we don't talk about rock slides. We don't talk about rock slide.
Yeah, that was tough.
Would you have any piece of information for me just to do with the dome? Part one, I suppose the question is like, I don't think the team that I have in front of you would work in the dome, just from the point of view of that you can only take 2 in. So, just in general, what do you think of the dome, and what do you think I should be kind of strategizing for the dome?
I mean, so I love the dome. It's just so fun. Like that's definitely my favorite facility. Like probably no competition for the other ones really. I mean, they're all good, but not all good. But in a sense, dome is my favorite. But they're, in my experience, the dome. Yeah, you're absolutely right. This team would not work, but it's not because. It's not because Donphan or Politoed are necessarily bad. It's because Skarmory is built for like a 3-person or 3 Pokemon team. And I guess, and again, in my experience, I'm not an expert, but the tower is great for like a whole team. Like, what's the word I'm going to use? Like a whole team, like philosophy. But the dome synergy, yeah. But the dome is built for like individual Pokemon, but like how they synergize within each other, not as like a whole unit. So like I think the best example is the Skarmory helps support the whole team, but if you were to throw it in any with only one other Pokemon, it just wouldn't it wouldn't be able to pull its own weight. So yeah, I think every Pokemon in the dome should pull its own weight, but synergize with the other 2 Pokemon, either like not overlapping weaknesses or not overlapping like offensive moves. So you have that like wide variety of like things. I think when I did it, I had Gengar, Milotic, and Metagross, and my thought was, no matter what, I'm probably bringing in Gengar as my fast Pokemon, and because that Pokemon had like a wide variety of moves. I think it had Thunderbolt. What did it have? Thunderbolt, I think like Ice Punch, Fire Punch, and like Giga Drain, something like that. Or I think Destiny Bond. Destiny Bond's crazy in the dome, because if you kill one Pokemon and you just Destiny Bond and die, or even Explosion. Yeah, anyway, what was I going to mention? Yeah, so I had so if I always went in Gengar, like if I wasn't sure like the situation, I always felt comfortable switching into my Metagross or my Milotic, regardless of who I brought in with me for the 2 Pokemon, because they were tankier. And again, that's not always the situation, but so my thought was 1 fast Pokemon, 2 bulky Pokemon, and just that was my thought process, I guess. But yeah, hopefully that was some food for thought for you.
No, definitely. And would you recommend in terms of like obviously like Donphan, Politoed, and Skarmory in their current build are not meant for the dome, but like would you then have built specifically, did you build a specific Metagross Gengar specifically for like to be quick and to be have such type coverage for the dome? Like did you ever use that Gengar or Metagross in the tower or in the pike?
So I actually brought the same team with me in the Pike and did well, but that's also just because like those Pokemon just were good for the Pike. And I tried it in the Battle Tower, not a lot though, but it had some success. But just I think I just made bad decisions. So and I didn't try it that much. But when I trained that team was like I knew the Pokemon were good and they had good synergy, and I had pretty high confidence that we'd get far. I didn't know if we'd get the actual medals, but I did. Like I didn't just pick like just my favorite Pokemon. Like I picked Metagross because I love it, but Milotic it's a cool Pokemon, but it supports or picks up where Metagross like lacks, and then Gengar is just a crazy Pokemon. So I built them individually, but I understood that that was going to be the team. So I try not to overlap things anyway. Like for your team, and again, I'm not like an expert, and you have a lot more experience with these Pokemon, but I think like Politoed and even Donphan, their builds look pretty fine to me. Maybe like the rest wouldn't make too much sense. Like if you run Politoed, you probably want to take if you're gonna pick Politoed in like that one matchup, you're probably gonna want to wipe the first Pokemon. Then if you just pair a song, like the game's over anyway. And then having like your current Donphan build kind of makes sense. But then Skarmory, yeah, that's definitely got to get like again either completely dropped or the whole move pool's got to get kind of changed because there isn't really. I mean, RAR could be helpful, but RAR you probably want some other Pokemon that or some other move that just does damage. And I think it's the dome. I think favors not, in my opinion, not like stalling out Pokemon. I think it just get in there, hit something hard, hit something fast, and then get out. Like, yeah, this is like the tower though. I think is a little bit more. All right, let's set some things up, and again, you can set up in the dome too. But I'm just saying that I think it just favors just punch something real hard, and then yeah.
Nice, because when we were talking there about I have ideas for like a Kanto team, like I was saying to you, like I have an Electabuzz, maybe a Poliwrath, Magmar, but I really want to put a Dragonite on the team. I really like Dragonite as well. But because like I don't know if you see, but like Dragonite's physical attacking stat can get to like 400, I think it is.
Yeah, and you get Dragon Dance.
You get Dragon Dance and it can learn Earthquake. One of my favorite moves, obviously. But like, so Dragon Dance, Earthquake, turn two is, I think, will clear a lot of stuff. Obviously, you run the risk with Ice Beam, but I think I was thinking about like a Dragonite as part of that team, and potentially that Dragonite could come into the dome with me. Just to kind of clear anything away. But yeah, no, I appreciate the bit of advice on the dome. I haven't even gone in the door of the building. I've just been focused on tower, and I had a little jaunt in the pyramid.
Well, once you get there, it'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, you got one thing working right now, so at least for me, I always split my focus all everywhere, and I feel like I gotta stay focused in one spot. So, but that's just
But I
me.
think that's the beauty of the post game is that like you can just go breeding for a while if you want to go battling for a while, or if you just want to go shiny hunting, go shiny hunting.
The Kanto team you're thinking of is Magmar, Electabuzz, and Dragonite right now.
No, it'd be more so Magmar and Electabuzz to me are kind of like the same Pokemon.
Yeah, okay.
Because they're like both high special attackers, both quick. Magmar actually has a high enough physical attacking stat as well. Its defense is pretty weak and its special defense is okay. But I'm leaning more towards Magmar just from the point of view of he's my favorite Pokemon, but also I get the stab fire. And you do meet a lot of steel Pokemon, and I meet a lot of grass Pokemon. So and my hope then is that Thunder Punch from Magmar will be able to get rid of the water Pokemon that he'd run into. I would run Dragonite hopefully then with Dragon Dance, Earthquake, probably Dragon Claw maybe as a stab dragon move to get rid of other dragon Pokemon. Because I wouldn't have Ice Punch on Magmar because he can't learn it. So probably that, and then maybe something like Aerial Ace or Fly, maybe just to get the Fly stab from Dragonite. And then the third Pokemon, the reason why I went with it is because Politoed works so well with the Water Absorb. I was just like, a Poliwrath with Water Absorb, maybe learn Earthquake, maybe learn like a Focus Punch substitute. Poliwrath could be fun as well with Water Absorb. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure on. I think I need a water Pokemon to accompany Magmar and Dragonite, maybe. Other than that, potentially I could put Venusaur on the team as well. Venusaur, Magmar, and Dragonite, something like that as the kind of Kanto team, but it's still not 100%. I have the Electabuzz there in case the Magmar doesn't work out, but it'll probably be Electabuzz or Magmar, Dragonite definitely, and then maybe a water or a grass Pokemon. I'm not sure. Venusaur, Blastoise maybe as well. I do like that Blastoise learns Mirror Coat. That's a very good move, especially in the tower, especially if you're slow.
I'm just thinking, like, if you were to go, let's say, Magmar, Dragonite, like 100%, like, yeah, that definitely exposes you to water Pokemon that also know ice moves. And then Poliwrath, I feel like, fits that really nicely. And then Venusaur could be good, but then you're still exposed to ice. But it's something, yeah.
Still exposed.
Something, I mean, if you love Venusaur, might as well try it out. But at the same time, yeah, it is exposing the water Pokemon are just too lethal with that water and ice attacks.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's why I was thinking of it's like Lapras is a great Pokemon. I like Lapras and stuff, but like I do also kind of think it's a nice idea that I have like a Poliwrath and I have a Politoed on two different teams. And like as I mentioned before, like one guy's Gigi and the other one is called Buffon after Gianluigi Buffon. Which I think is kind of funny, like, But I am kind of struggling with how to build a Poliwrath, because obviously Poliwrath wants to be more of a physical attacker, and Dragonite is a physical attacker, and Magmar is so special built that I was kind of like, I think I have the Poliwag that I have at the minute that I could turn into a Poliwrath has, I think, maybe like 30 or 31 IVs in HP, definitely has 31 in attack and has 31 in special attack. And I think it has good IVs in defense and special defense. So I might split it. I might do like Surf. I could do like Surf Ice Beam maybe even on it, and then substitute Focus Punch, something like that to kind of do something like that, kind of swap it around. Or I could teach it Psychic, get rid of other fighting Pokemon that I run into. But yeah, I'm the Kanto team is definitely something that I wanted to build first, but I had to play through Fire Red and Leaf Green first, so I just finished them. I ran through the Explorer last night, so now I kind of have accessibility to Magmar and stuff. So yeah, have to get building that now in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, I'm enjoying this team a lot. Yeah, definitely exciting. I'm enjoying this team a lot, though. I really, really like Donphan is. When you win with a team that has like a lot of limitations, and this team has a fair amount of limitations, like Politoed is not very strong, and Donphan is super weak to special attack. But it feels pretty good. Like just I feel like I just kind of creak by a lot of dangerous Pokemon, and I kind of go, "Nice battling you. I win again. Thanks very much." Yeah. What's that? A Perish song? Oh, sorry. There you go. Bye now.
I love that Perish song. I gotta think about some more stuff, but yeah, it got me thinking. Wondering, do you have any other questions or things you want to chat about?
One question I had for you, which you can leave this in or you can take it out if you wish, but is like I have a couple of tattoos, but would you ever, like, if you got like 100 win streak with Steelix, would you be like, I need to get a Steelix tattoo, or I need to get some type of? Would you commemorate?
If I were to get anything, it would be a Rayquaza. Like, I thought about this. Like, I think somebody actually, I got this idea from somebody on Instagram who also loves Rayquaza, but the dude had it like it's starting here and like wrapping around his arm, and like his hand was it, like the mouth. Nice. I mean, it'd be cool, but I don't like tattoos, I think, enough to get that. But if I did, it would probably be shiny. It would be shiny Rayquaza, and I think it'd be something like that, like it wrapping around my body.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that was just a thought I had. I was like, because I had the same kind of question came into my own head. Is that like
Hmm.
I have a couple of Pokemon tattoos already. Like I have Magmar, Electabuzz, Nidoking, and War Turtle
Wow.
tattooed in my leg.
I guess is
Yeah.
it
So
weirder? Can you show the camera? Or is that weird? You don't have to.
no, I can show, but it's maybe just going to be the light, maybe, and the angle. But I can try. I don't know. What is this?
Let's
Maybe.
see it.
Mm, uh,
So I'm
can you
guessing you
see
like
anything?
war. It's like in the oh wait, hold on a second. Wait, can you put it more
It's
towards the chair?
yes.
I got the thing edited. I'll zoom in on the thing. I see a Pokeball there.
Yeah, sorry, it's a
Oh, I
Pokeball with
see it like the buzz.
Electabuzz
Yeah,
here.
yeah, okay.
I can send you a picture of it anyway if you want to put it in later.
Yeah,
You can put
maybe
that
that
in.
would be a little bit better. I'll throw
Yeah,
in the thing. So I'm guessing you love War
it's
Turtle too.
yeah, I love the Squirtle line. I think second stage evolution Pokemon kind of they get forgotten.
They do.
Like whoever says Charmeleon is my favorite Pokemon. Do you
It's
know what I
kind of
mean?
hard
Or
when you
like
got Charizard, but yeah, somebody out there definitely loves Charmeleon more.
yeah, I know. But
Hmm.
for me, like I think of the Kanto starters, its second stage evolution. I think War Turtle is the coolest, just because it has like the kind of the teeth, so it's a bit more aggressive. Its tail is like a wave, and it has the kind of like pointed ears. I just thought it was like cool. I always like War Turtle, and it's like a war turtle. Like it's a turtle that goes to war. Like why wouldn't you like it? Do you
Wait,
know, landing
true.
on the beaches?
Yeah,
Do you
and
know?
well, yeah. Then I don't know if you remember that episode of Pokemon Beached Out Blastoise. They got like
Yes.
blast. That is like that. See, so that episode and like the Magmar episode is like embedded in my memory because I remember going to Blockbuster one time with my mom and we picked up like just some random Pokemon episodes or like VHSs, and then those were the episodes. And so yeah, Beached Out Blastoise is like in my brain. But yeah, kind of
Is
cool.
that
War
is
Turtle.
that the word? Is that the one where Jigglypuff gets stuck in the
Hmm.
Blastoise's
I'm pretty sure.
hydro
Yeah,
cannon?
yeah. What a Pokemon.
Class.
Jigglypuff wrecking havoc, singing.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's kind of. I think that's about it, Jed. Going forward, I think my next thing is obviously going to be the Kanto team, and then thinking of maybe a Hoenn team, and then as I was speaking to you earlier was the idea of like, do I want to take Donphan from this team? Do I want to take Poliwrath from the Kanto team, and maybe whatever from the Hoenn team? I haven't even thought about that, and just kind of trying to run through it. My like the dream would be to try to get a gold medal in the tower with this team, and then go again with the Kanto team. But I don't know. I'm struggling in the 40s at the minute in the tower at the minute with this team. The power step at around 40 something is proving a little bit too much for my team at the minute.
So for me, like 30 to 35 is where like I don't know what happens, but it's like, all right, here we go.
Mm.
But yeah, I
I
mean,
always find when I'm doing battle 28, so like
mhm.
the fourth round, it just kind of like it'll go from like Chime Echo, you could have like Gloom and something else to like Salamence Charizard and like Metagross, and you're like, wait, sorry, what was the last team compared to this team? Do you know?
Completely relatable.
Yeah, and then for yourself, then are you? I suppose like you've got so many eyes on so many different generations. I'm just concentrating on Gen 3. I know you're in Gen 3, you're in Gen 4, you're in Gen 5. Is there one specific one you want to direct like more of your energy towards in the next 3 6 months, or are you happy to kind of spread amongst the generations?
For I guess like Battle Frontier stuff or just playing the game in general.
Battle Frontier stuff, I suppose.
I mean, I'm still chipping away like at the Gen 3 stuff, but I would like to get the Gen 4 team going, and
Mm.
I cannot get this shiny. I'm at like 8,000 encounters, which I mean isn't it's like at odds almost, but I want to get these two other shinies and then get that started, but it's taken a little longer than maybe not a little longer than I thought, but I should be putting more time into those, but I'm just getting distracted on all these things. So I would like next 3 to 6 months. Definitely like within 6 months, I want these 2 other shinies. I want to get started in the Gen 4 Battle Tower. And then Gen 5 is going to be like farther down the road. And realistically, I would like to get the shiny charm before I start my Gen 5 team, because I want some shiny Pokemon, if that makes sense. And I think like in my head, it's like, oh, let's just get the shiny charm and make everything easier. But I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. That's my thought there, though.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Well, best of luck with it.
Thanks. Hopefully get the shiny soon. But
But yeah, that's about it. I don't think I have any more questions for you. Do you have anything else for me?
I think I asked some pretty good questions. I mean, should we start wrapping up? Is that fine, or do you want? And if there's anything else, you keep going. But
no. I think we've covered everything.
All right, we'll slowly wrap this up. Definitely appreciate you for coming on, chatting about the team. Love to see Donphan, even Politoed. Yeah, I was about to say Poliwag, but yeah, Politoed. But definitely love to see a Donphan pick. Hopefully, you get past this like hump in the 40 region. You're able to get the gold medal soon. But I definitely appreciate you coming on, chatting about the team.
Yeah, honestly, thanks for having me. And honestly, this your channel has done a lot for me in 2025. I gotta say that. I restarted Emerald and did a Fire Red and Leaf Green playthrough with my friends. So all of that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for you. So, and the stuff you're doing. So huge appreciation, honestly, huge appreciation. And yeah, it seemed, I don't know, maybe it's just my YouTube algorithm, but like all I'm seeing is Gen 3 content, and it's 20 something years later. I don't know, am I stuck in a time loop, or is it just my feed?
It's back in style.
But, it's back in style, yeah. I just think, and I think you've touched on it before, but I think definitely the Gen 3 games for me are like, they're really a form of like cozy gaming, where you can have an anime or a movie on in the background, or like I often, when I'm making dinner, like I will just have the Game Boy on the side. Like I'll tell you, my girlfriend, she knows more about the Battle Frontier now from being beside me than she should know, but I remember I was playing in the factory and I was against the Steelix, and the Steelix used block, which I'd never seen before. It basically means I couldn't swap out. And I had a Dusclops. It was in the factory, yeah. And we both ran out of PP, and we were both at +6 evasiveness. And I spent nearly 3 hours pressing A, wishing that my Dusclops would die. Because I had a Starmie in the back and I couldn't bring the Starmie in. So there was periods when I was making breakfast where I had to pass my Game Boy to my girlfriend and just was like, just keep pressing A. Just keep pressing A. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And eventually the Steelix struggle killed my Dusclops, and then Starmie came in and one shot the Steelix, and then I got through. But yeah, that was just a funny little story. It's funny how like such an old game can give such good memories now in 2025,
I hate when the struggle battles happen. It's just not me. Pretty sure nobody enjoys that though. Definitely.
No.
If there's anybody that wants to give some feedback about the team, what's the best place to do so? Just maybe YouTube comment, and I'll pin you, and then people could reply down there. Or do you have email or something? Anywhere else people want to? If people want to reach out,
I think YouTube comments, I'd say, is fine enough. Yeah.
Now, so if anybody wants to give Sean some feedback on the team, YouTube comments down below. All right,
much appreciated.
It's definitely been a pleasure, but we'll wrap this up. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for chatting about the team, and thanks everybody for listening and enjoying. But hopefully you guys stick around. We got some more podcasts coming in the near future.
Take care.
Yep, take care, everybody.